Hello and welcome to another fabulous Take and Make craft from the Greenville County Library System. Today's craft is sponsored by the Friends of the Library. So first let's look at what all is in your kit. You're making a DIY macrame, earrings or keychain or both. You've got a bundle of yarn, you've got earring hooks, you've got a keychain hook. That's all in your kit. Now some other things that you'll need are a fine tooth comb. You're going to want to have that to brush out at the end, a pair of scissors, and some tape to help you secure your hook to the work surface. So let's go ahead and get started. What you're going to do is take your bundle of yarn, untie in the middle, and you're going to use that long length that was tying up the middle as your base. And then you'll see you've also got shorter bits of string there as well. That's what you're going to use to actually make your macrame knots. So first, let's take that base yarn. If you're doing a keychain, you're going to put it through this top circle just below the actual keychain loop. See that there? Secures very nicely there. So that's where you start if that's what you're going to do, if you're doing the keychain. I'm actually going to demonstrate the earring today. It's got a slightly smaller little loop there, so we're just going to sort of force it through, trying not to unravel the yarn as we go. If you need to dampen the end to make it a little bit firmer to get through the loop, you can. Otherwise, just sort of poke it through. And then you're just going to pull the rest of the yarn through like so. All right, I made it through. A little unraveling at the end is fine. We're actually going to be cutting that off at the end. We've got excess string. So this is your base. You can tape your hook now if you like. That helps it secure to the work surface. I'm going to wait and see if I can do it on my own. Now I'm just tying one simple knot right there. The knot just holds the base right into place on the hook. So you tie that knot, make sure it's all the way up at the top right there. All right, that looks good. So now we're going to grab 2 pieces of the 5-inch yarn. So there's my first one. We're going to be doing the same motion all the way down and just alternating sides that we do it. So this first time I'm taking that small loop and I'm putting it under the base. So that's gone under. Now here's that second piece that we're going to use to actually make the knot. And I'm actually having that over the base and just taking those 2 ends and putting them under that first loop. So it's an over-under. Once I've got those 2 ends available, then I'm going to grab the 2 ends from my original loop. Just pull those up and through. And so you're going to see it. Essentially, I'm pulling the loops, taking those 2 ends and just slowly tightening them. So that's how I make my first knot. Oh, I've got a little bit of extra gathering there, and I'll just pull that through. So don't worry if you think you've made a mistake, you're fine. You're actually going to tighten up and move that knot all the way up to the top of that base. So get it to the top there, just below that initial knot that you made to keep it in place. Okay, so yours should look like this now. So you've got a nice little knot on one side, and you can just tighten it that way. All right, so this is our first pair. So now we're going to grab the next pair of 5-inch yarn pieces, and we're just going to do it on the other side. So that initial one I'm putting under, and this time you see I've got my larger loop on the left. And now here's my over piece, and this time the larger loop goes on the right. So I take the 2 end pieces underneath, like so. Trying to keep them straight. See, that's how it should look. And then you're just going to grab those end pieces that are here on the right and pull those through while you're holding on to the other 2 end pieces. Ta-da! And now I've made my second knot. Now this doesn't look quite right. We've got to scooch it up. So you can tighten it and then just slide it up to the top. You want it to meet the other one. Slide up, just an easy push. Okay, and so those are our 2 alternating sides, and we're going to repeat this until we used up all of our 5-inch pieces of yarn from that one bundle. So I'm just gonna grab and go back to that original one where I go underneath the base lines with the loop on the right, and then this one goes on the top with the loop on the left. And we just pull those end pieces under on one side and then move them through on the other side. I'll get my hand out of the way in just a second so you can see. There we go. I'll just slowly tighten that up to make my next knot. Pull that on through. There we go. We've made another nice knot, and we're just going to scooch that up to the top. So now we've already made 3 knots. Here's our next pair, and we're just going to do that on the opposite side like we did before. So under piece and the over piece, and just pulling the 2 sets of ends through. Pulling that one up and over and the other one down, and then slowly pulling through. There you go. And scooch that one on up to the top as well, just like we did the other ones. So we're just going to repeat this until we've used up all of our yarn. I'm actually going to tape this to my work surface so that it's a little easier to maneuver. And of course you can do that at home as well. Okay, this is the final knot. So if you couldn't quite tell before, this one's going to be nice and clear. Got the under, the over, and we're just pulling those ends through. Ta-da! All right, so we did it. That's all 8 pairs, so 16 total pieces of 5-inch yarn. That is the hard part done. Looks really nice. Now you can tighten it up some more, make sure that they sort of scooch up together. You want it to be nice and tight so it'll stay in place. Now grab that comb. You can use just a normal fine-tooth comb. If you've got a cat brush or dog brush, those are even more fine and that'll go by a little faster. But what you're doing is you're just combing out all of these pieces of yarn. You're going to try to make sure every strand is unraveled. So we're really fluffing this up. So pull your comb through, you're going to see all that fluff start to show. You're going to get some bits of yarn. So make sure you've got a workplace where you can clean up easily. Also, if you are using a cat brush, make sure you're not brushing over wood. You don't want to scratch up your furniture. So just keep brushing. You're going to do that on both sides, get it nice and fluffy. Okay, so we've fluffed it out, and now this is where we're going to do the trimming. So you can do this in any shape that you like. We're going to do this in a feather shape, so basically just have a point at the end and some rounded tops. You could do it in a heart shape, you could do it in an oval. If it helps, you can cut out the shape on a piece of paper and then use that as a template. So I'm just going to trim up and around, and I'm just going to pay attention to what I'm doing for this one so that I can do the same shape. So we're just quickly trimming around, making them as close as possible. They don't have to be perfect, but this is where you can be creative. Okay, now that both are done, I'm grabbing a bit of water and just dotting them on each earring. You're going to do it on the front and on the back. What this does is helps it stiffen up. You could use a hairspray instead of water if you have that on hand. You can also put the water in a spritzer bottle. So I'm just doing this on both sides. And when I'm done, I'm just going to let it dry, and then it'll be stiffer and stay in shape a little bit better. If you need to do any last minute trims, this is the time so that you can make it exactly how you want it to look. You did it. You made a lovely piece of jewelry. Perfect gift for someone or a gift for yourself. and a lovely keychain as well. If you're interested in learning more about macrame or learning about more crafts that you can do from home, you can check out these additional resources available at the library. Creative Bug is a great resource that you can use by signing in with your library card. The link to get to Creative Bug is in this video description. If you'd like to check out any of the books listed on macrame, you can also click on those links in this video description. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you'll come back soon to learn more about different crafts and different events here at greenvillelibrary.org. Thank you!